What is going on, everyone, ladies and gentlemen? I am Kiyo, and this is Say June, and we are going to be talking about Nier Automata on the Binch Bros podcast. What up, June? Do we want to get right into Nier, or let's talk about like stuff we played this week besides that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Today, recently this week, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Origins because I got that. I picked it up last week. And yeah, just going through the grind of doing all the quests.
How you liking it?
It's good. I like it. It kind of sucks that I can't like one-shot assassination, but I mean, I'll work around that. I'll work the way it's supposed to be done in this game.
Yeah, it's like a open world RPG. You know,
yeah.
It's not like it's more similar to something like The Witcher, right? Than it is previous Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
But so do you like it? Like do you like me and some others feel it's like the best Assassin's Creed ever?
I'm liking I'm really liking Bayek as a character because he has hard ass emotions.
Sure. Like
And,
that stuff is
I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. I do like the skill tree and everything too, mechanically. That's always fun.
I mean, I think one of my favorite parts of the reboot is that they got rid of social stealth.
Yeah.
Like the whole blend, walk with courtesans, walk with crowds, you know, all that stuff. Like just gone completely.
Yeah.
And because of that, we don't have
Tail
what
missions.
do you call it? Yeah, there's no tailing.
I feel like I might be one of those people that miss it. That just the social like hidden thing, not so much the tailing missions. I don't think anyone likes those. But yeah, no, there's definitely no tailings. A lot of following so far in some of the quests I picked up, which is it's all right. Some of them don't last too long, but some of them do.
Like listen to someone talk for a minute?
Well, yeah, but we still have to like stay within their range.
Yeah, you know, did you ever do the thing when you're on horseback? Red Dead Redemption did this too.
Yeah.
And I always love it, which is you can push a button to just follow at their speed.
Oh, could I do that when I'm just like not walking or not on a horse?
Definitely not.
Oh.
Yakuza 0 you can. There's
Okay,
like
that's
moments where you're supposed to like I think the first thing you do in that game is follow Nishiki, and then you just hold R2 if you want to like not worry about pushing the analog stick.
Yeah.
And then it gets kind of funny because sometimes like Nishiki will turn a corner before Kiryu does, and he's just like rubbing up against the like, side of the building until he gets through.
Right, kind of like glitches a little bit.
It didn't glitch, but he just like rubs right up against that side of the building.
Nice. That's another game I need to... Oh, I'm probably not going to be able to finish it. Maybe, who knows? By the end of this year, and for sure by the time we do the Binch Bros podcast, the award show. But I do want to play Yakuza 0.
Yeah.
I might drop Assassin's Creed Origins for it. To pick that up.
Damn.
Because I mean, Assassin's Creed is still Assassin's Creed, regardless. It's like hidden blades, kill.
I so disagree. It's so different from Assassin's Creed, like how it has been in the past. I think if you've played all of them up until now, this is the biggest change.
Like mechanically and story wise, or one or the other.
Mechanically.
Okay, well that's fine. I mean,
and
so far it
I
seems,
guess I don't know.
It still seems like almost like it just has the same shit regardless. Like the tools at least, like hidden blade, go and kill a dude, and then be done with the quest. Leave. You're good. I don't know. I haven't hit too much of the story too much. I just played the side quests, so I guess I'll see, but I'll definitely probably gonna drop Yakuza or Assassin's Creed Origins, but Yakuza 0, because I still needed to get Yakuza Kiwami, right?
Yeah, if you want to get, I think Yakuza 0 so far is better, but I mean I haven't finished Yakuza Kiwami.
Yeah, because like the first thing straight off is like there's no like single currency for everything, right? For Kiwami, there's 2 separate things.
Yeah, it's more like how the previous games were, where it's XP, and then you use money that you get. You get money from fights and stuff. But in Yakuza 0, you get just money for everything, and that's what makes it really. It's like the Dark Souls leveling system, where there's just one currency. You use souls to buy gear, you use souls to repair gear, you use souls to level up. Same thing in Yakuza. You use money to, buy gear, to buy health items, to level up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar. I think the other game we played together, kind of, or just separately or whatever, is Overwatch, obviously.
Yeah.
That's almost always something we play, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's really anything to say about that one.
Just that with the update.
Yeah, but I don't think they changed the game in any way except for like skins, right?
Just skins, yeah.
Yeah, which they're nice, but
yeah. But that came out. But it's been a while since I played. Really, it's been like 2 weeks since I haven't played because I've been playing Nier. And then I got Origins, and then
the Crew. You've been playing the Crew.
I have picked up the Crew, and I think I was gonna talk about that for a little bit too. I guess.
I mean, we also beat Ghost Recon.
Oh shit! That's right.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about that too, huh?
I mean, okay. What do you want to say about it?
It's not too bad. It's honestly nothing. What the predictions were right. We literally had to do the same thing for each buchon. The only differences that happened was when we had to get the heads. No.
Do you remember how? Okay, spoiler alert, I guess, for Ghost Recon. No one cares. Do you remember how that the final mission, you can just fly the helicopter to that door and just walk in?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty funny.
You like that?
It's pretty dumb. That's a bad game.
I was about to say that sucks.
That's a bad game choice.
Yeah, I think helicopters are just OP in general. Like, we could just go anywhere. I mean, there was like stuff, right? There was like SAMs or the shit to take us down from the sky, but we just had to not stay close to the ground, or at least take out one of them and stay on that side, and then we just go right to the front and just go through the door and end the game.
I think if helicopters weren't in that game, it'd be a more tedious game.
Oh,
and
definitely.
I think the way they don't account for it sometimes is just kind of bad planning on their part.
Yeah.
I mean, most games when I beat them, I do want to come back and comb through all the collectibles and whatever. Most games, I would say. This one I deleted almost immediately.
You deleted it right away. Yeah.
I was like,
you want to do continue with the Predator thing, which I mean, I guess it doesn't matter if you're just gonna delete it after we're done.
I mean, what was it, 55 gigs? I was like, this space could be better served for something else.
It is, yes.
I definitely need to remove this immediately. And nothing could get me to come back. If the Predator thing didn't happen while we were playing, I wouldn't have gone back to play the Predator.
Yeah.
Unless you were like, hey, we should do that. I'd be begrudgingly all right, fine.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. The buchon, all the buchons were all the same. You just had to interrogate some dude, find him, and then kill him or capture him sometimes.
So,
and then the head. Then there's the what was the one before the heads? It was just the underboss.
Right.
Was that right?
Well,
those were somewhat different.
I think a big thing about this game is kind of the proof, for me at least. This game is the perfect example of why aesthetics and cosmetic and style and all of that stuff that people say don't matter in video games matters in video games. You know what I mean? Because gameplay wise, this game is probably very similar to tons of games I like. You know, there's big open world, bunch of stuff to collect, you know, missions to do. You can tackle it your own way. Cool. However,
Yeah.
it's the most like unappealing like world to be in, and they give you character customization, but it's all unappealing, and they give you weapon stuff, and it's super like not interesting. It's just, you know, I mean, it's like, why do I care about any of it, you know? And I don't. The thing is, I don't, and I don't like the people I'm working with. I don't like the people I'm working against. I don't like, you know, the world doesn't feel alive to me. Like, you know, none of it like just on a gameplay level, it's totally fine. It's like just like, you know, Far Cry or Assassin's Creed or, you know, any of these games. Like, it's exactly like those games. You know, just go and do your thing. You know, here's the open world. But it is wholly unappealing. And I mean, I guess like, you know, yeah, it just shows. I mean, the Predator.
It's not
the
appealing.
Predator couldn't save it, you know. So
no, it made it worse for me. I didn't enjoy the way it worked.
And I just think that this game is the perfect like answer to like why all this stuff that people
take for granted.
No, that people
pretty much
say that people say don't matter and stuff. And it's like, no, you're incorrect. You know, this game shows why, like, all of that does matter, and it further reinforces why it's evil to, you know, just the argument of, hey, this stuff is just cosmetic, or hey, this is just an aesthetic thing. No, like, that's a huge component of a video game. It's like one of the most important pillars, because this game has fine gameplay pillars, like any game. You know, it has all the gameplay pillars that would make a game good, except for being appealing to look at, or, you know, having appealing characters, or having an intriguing story, or any of that shit. Failed.
What was it? There was a lot of hours spent on this game.
I had fun playing with you, though.
I had fun too.
We had fun moments. Yeah, mostly just like
just fucking around
outside of the confines of the game. And at a certain point, I did want it to just end, though. I was like,
no,
we can just punch through this.
It's all the same and everything. But I mean, that's pretty much it. The ending was pretty. It's like multiple endings, I guess. God damn it!
You were glitched out.
No, my mic keeps. Look, I'm gonna.
No. I mean, in the game, you were glitched out.
I was
for the ending.
I was. It sucked. When was the last one? Right, the last mission. When
the final mission. Yeah, you didn't get the cutscenes, and then
what? Yeah, what happened?
We had to run through that mission again with you.
We went to like the second point of the last mission, and I usually skydive. I usually want to skydive, and I didn't. I pulled my parachute too late this time. And I died as you guys were finishing that mission. And I think it glitched out from there. And it became that I finished it, but I didn't. And then we went through and it was like, oh shit, I can't go in. I can't do any of these things.
Yeah, it was a bizarre glitch. And speaking of glitches, this game had a really frustrating one. Where my binoculars and drones, like, which is a big part of the game, it's for your marking your enemies and like scouting out an area for you. It would just not work. Yeah. Like, and there's no fix around it besides restarting the app or whatever.
Yeah, and then pretty much towards the end of our sessions, or you ended up being fine. But in the very beginning and even in the middle, like, you were struggling with that. That sucked.
Yeah, at a certain point, like, I remember when that like first started happening, I was like, whatever, this game's gonna end soon. Like, that was just like it's gonna end. It's fine. It never ended. It ended. And I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I don't know who I could even recommend this game to. I don't think anyone I know would enjoy this game.
Nah. it's too much time, and I think I don't know.
I think it's like the act of playing that sort of like collectathon, clearing out areas sort of thing, that business.
Yeah.
That's fun, and it's in this game, but it's in a ton of games. You don't have to play this game to get that. And all these other games have like much more appealing packages, like Assassin's Creed has like, all sorts of time periods, Watch Dogs. It's got this fun hacker vibe, like Mad Max has a post-apocalyptic, whatever. Like there's so much of this stuff in video games. Arkham Knight, Batman Arkham Knight was like on sale for $7 yesterday. So, get that game. That's a good game. That's a good game. Much better.
Much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, there you go. What was the other game? I think. Well, did you play any other games today? This week?
Besides Overwatch,
yeah.
Let me think.
I've seen you on Injustice 2.
Yeah, I'm playing a lot of Injustice 2 still. They released a new character, the Atom. That's ATOM.
Yeah.
He's pretty fun, but I haven't really been playing him after I leveled him up.
Yeah.
I've been they're doing this holiday event thing, which it's pretty easy to just get through. And you get a lot of good rewards from it. And the final fight in it is really, really, really crazy because you're fighting Bizarro, the weird Superman. Superman. And so there's these things called modifiers, fight modifiers, where things will happen in the fight, random things like it could be anything from lightning bolts coming down from the sky, or like there being bombs that fly at you, or whatever, like time's really slow, gravity is really low, etc., etc.
Yeah,
tons of modifiers. And when you're fighting Bizarro, there's usually you only have one of these modifiers, if any, in these multiverse challenges. And when you're fighting Bizarro, there's like 6 different modifiers on at once. And so it's just this chaos, which is very fitting for Bizarro. It's just chaos, like exploding penguins everywhere with like ice just falling down, lightning, missiles flying around. It's like you can't even like land, like you land one hit or you get hit once, but like no one's doing any combos because as soon as someone like even hits someone once, like some other rocket from the side blows them up. It's just like ends after a while, and it's just like kind of hilarious. Yeah, I was just like had a big stupid grin on my face the whole time. And and that was fun. But I really I finally got like so there's these legendary gears in that game which have these ridiculously like long checklists that you have to complete, and it's like stuff like like play 250 matches or 2,000 matches and do 250 wins with this specific move, and spend this much money on this thing, or sell this much gear. Like, so all these like really long, it's supposed to take you a long time. And I've been chipping at it for a while for Supergirl, which is one of my mains, and my other main, Harley Quinn. She doesn't have one of these yet, but when that comes out, I'll work on hers too. But yeah, I finally got her legendary gear, and it's like each character's legendary gear. It's like good gear, it like has really high stats or whatever, but it also like augments them in a certain way. And so like Supergirl's augments her
I see.
Her lasers. You can fire them rapid fire now, which is totally broken and fun. And then like an overpowered.
Yeah.
And like I think like Poison Ivy, hers is like she can keep her plant minion out the whole time. And I think like Robin's like super move is usually like a pretty close range thing, but with his like legendary sword or whatever, I think he gets on a motorcycle and like does a full screen attack. I don't know, it's a lot of fun stuff like that. So they're worth going for, I guess, but it'll take you a long time. Yeah. Okay. So I've been playing that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess we head into Nier Automata then?
Do it.
So, Nier Automata. We're going to do a full-on spoiler cast. Full-on mode. Put your earbuds on or take them off. I don't know. But welcome. Wow. Nier Automata. Holy shit. It is it's quite a ride.
Describe
honestly.
what the game is.
It's a game about androids and robots, and there's conflict between those two in the beginning of this game. And
So
I
how's
think
this
it's still
game
that way,
play?
really. The game plays similarly to Bayonetta in the ways of just doing combos and stuff. But it also plays like a open world game. And I also want to apologize if we mention anything that we've talked about in the first Nier Automata podcast bit. But I don't think we went too far into it if I remember correctly. But yeah, it plays pretty much like that.
And you just beat it, so it's pretty fresh.
I did just beat it, yeah. The beginning kind of is blurry to me, but I think you pretty much just go through the tutorials. So you play as 9S.
Yeah, well, no, you don't play as him in the beginning.
Sorry, I meant to say 2B.
Yeah, so there's a demo for the game that's free, and that's basically did you play the demo ever?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so it's that first that first mission up until the cutscene where 9S and 2B self-destruct to take out the robots. And so I mean that gives you a taste of the combat mechanics and stuff of the game, but it doesn't really tell you how the game plays, like for the majority of the like critical path. So you have this it's kind of barren open world is how I would describe it. It's like there's places where there's NPCs and stuff, but it's almost like a JRPG world in a way where there's just like hostile zones all over the place, you know? Like most of the areas is like if you run into things here, it's going to be hostile generally. And there's like little towns that like have, you know, your quest givers and the like. And you know, so the game's like a pretty traditional open world RPG. One of the cool things, one of the clever things about this game is a lot of like the critical path is very, you know, doable. It's very, you know, you don't really need to learn the systems of the game. But like for some of the other stuff, there's like jumps that you wouldn't make like normally unless you unless you figure out like a path, you know, like with your jumps, like I'm gonna hit jump and then hit triangle with a light sword, so I swing upward, you know, and then I'm gonna use the double jump from that and then use my pod to glide, but I'm gonna hold kick while I'm gliding, you know, it's whatever. Like you do crazy stuff like that to get to certain areas. And that actually, it's cool. It's more freeform feeling to get around. Because some of these areas are hard to get to, and there's stuff up there that you want, especially if you're into like, you know, the little bonuses and stuff. Because like sometimes like, you know, you'll get like a sub quest thing that's up there. But like did you ever fight that guy? What's his name? Like he's like a robot on a rooftop. Yeah. How many times did you fight him all the whole? Did you complete his quest line?
I have no idea. I think I fought him like 3 times.
Okay, yeah, no, you didn't complete it. He has like 4? I don't know, maybe the final bit of his quest line is definitely you have to be high level, you know, because he just keeps going. That quest goes from like really early level stuff to like really late level stuff. It's a quest that follows.
It looks like it was heading that direction.
Yeah, it like follows throughout the whole game. And then and there's like you know, and he even getting up to him isn't normal. You have to kind of like jump from another rooftop and like glide over and then do a kick to like even get up there.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like that part of the open world. I think it's really it's different from a lot of Los Santos or something, right? Where you can just take a helicopter.
Yeah,
it's also much smaller, which I appreciate. I'm tired of giant open worlds, really. Like,
yeah, I've noticed that it was definitely a much smaller like map compared to like other open worlds. Like for instance, freaking Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yeah.
It's definitely more.
One thing both of those games do that I really appreciate is they give you like these vast like desert areas that are pretty just empty.
Mm-hmm.
Both Assassin's Creed and Nier do this, and you're just walking around, and in Nier you can get, in both of those games you can kind of get lost if you like don't open up your map, I guess. And it's just like nothing but like sandstorms and just like, you know, desert. And I don't know, I find that really interesting that like you're gonna take up that much of your space in a game for purely atmospheric reasons, I guess, right? Because it's like there's no like game. It's kind of annoying to run in sand in most games, like because you are a little slower. I don't know. I find that interesting.
It is. Well, when you're sliding, then you get.
Oh, I do love that. Speed, I forgot how much I love sliding in video games. Horizon Zero Dawn has good sliding too.
Yeah, they do. It does.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Yeah, that was that is a difference from like world perspective or map perspective, I guess.
Definitely talked about this game a lot before in the past, so I want to hear your thoughts on it, man.
Well, I'm trying to just remember, but like just everything, because like I said, the front half I'm starting to forget a bit, because like it didn't really pick up till the end of the first part of this game, because I'm just trying to remember if there was anything really crucial to talk about in that first run, the first.
Because it took you about like several months, I think, to beat 2B's portion of the game.
It took me about like 32 hours, I guess, which I think is a decent time to finish the whole thing.
The whole game?
To the total. Well, I would assume E is the last one. Was it E?
Well,
E, and then like the other ones are they like different?
Well, from F to Z, it's like
endings.
The like non-standard game overs, you know, so self-destructing on the moon base or eating mackerel and that kills you, stuff like that. Yeah.
So A through
those
E
are like
fine,
canon,
pretty much, or the like canon. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, that's what I meant to say, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, finishing it through about
you
4
pretty
or
much
5
critical
times.
pathed it, right? You didn't really.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't look it up either, but the ending of the final one was enough for me to say, yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. I don't really care if this is not the ending, I guess, or whatever. I think this is a good ending, regardless. But pretty much, I guess I want to go through the timelines, or just not timelines, but the endings, I guess. So the first run through, you play as 2B, and you just go through and kill things, go on, just follow orders from Yorha, which is where she's
there's that
off of.
There's weird moments even in that one too, though. Like, I mean, I think we remember how weird the game gets after 2B's story, which it definitely does. But I mean,
yeah, definitely.
I remember when you get down to that spaceship, and you're like, "What? Like, wait, there's this aliens?" So like that. I mean, you heard about it, but it's like it's funny to put a face to that, like, you know, story.
Yeah. And that's pretty much like the first. That's like the first part of like Nier Automata, like the story wise, I guess, right? Is like Adam and Eve and how they were born from aliens.
Yeah, all those robots are from the aliens.
Yeah, and they try to be created for humans, but they only have androids to go off of or something, because the androids are created by humans.
Yeah,
or something. Either way, like Adam and Eve, which is they're the robots.
They're both guys.
They're both guys. They're both hot. And that's besides the point. They're pretty mad. They want to Adam. I think he's like more so.
Yeah, he's like
Adam's the long-haired one, right?
He's like the big older brother.
Yeah, he's the big brother, pretty much, of the two, even though they're twins. And he pretty much wants to just live in the pure human life and the reasons why humans were humans or whatever. So he reads books, eats, even though he doesn't have to for any of those, and even fear death or whatever, or something about death. And he's really into that, just the concept of that, I guess.
And Eve just likes Adam.
Yeah. He
just
likes Adam.
He just follows like Adam. Like he doesn't really care as much about Adam, about all that stuff.
Oh, right.
But like he just like is hanging along. And Eve. He's not really a thinker. Yeah, he does want to just play. And then
that's all he wants to do. Well, I mean, the other question is like, what do they? Well,
we saw their birth in the game. You know, it's not like they've been around for hundreds of years or anything. They're newborns pretty much.
Yeah.
And
I mean, when he says play, though, I imagine like they're just tossing a ball to each other.
I mean, you see a lot of like childlike innocence in these machines sometimes, but then you know, obviously you see like murder and cults and suicide and orgies and all sorts of like, you know, not, you know, innocent actions. But at the same time, you do see I always think of another pair of siblings in the game are from Pascal's town. I don't know if you did the side quest, but there's like an older sister robot and a younger sister robot. And the younger sister got lost. The older sister wants you to find her. And the older sister is this tiny little robot. And the younger sister is one of those like bigger hulking biped robots that you fight throughout the game.
Yeah.
But she's very like, you know, scared and and it's funny. They just both wear these like little bows on their heads. But besides that, these robots are they're very like 1930s serial, you know, like those like old cartoons like Max Fleischer, that style of robot with the big circle dome head and the, you know, round eyes, you know, and they're like they're about as emotive as, you know, they're like they have less nuance to their voices than like Siri, you know, they literally talk like this, you know, like that sort of robot. But as you like spend time with them, you really like you forget about that, I think, because their personalities all like shine through. Like did you
Yeah, definitely. Like with the little sister, for sure. Like herself, you could tell like when she's really sad and scared and everything.
What about that one who's like the philosopher? He's just like hanging out in town. And he's got all these like he's got all these fangirls. Everyone loves him, and they talk about him. And he's just like, you know, all he's doing is sitting there pontificating, you know, about, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It turns out like one of his fangirls, like if it's cool. I love how the game ties in Critical Path to side stuff, because like he's the one that do you remember the singer, the opera singer? She's one of his fangirls. And she loves him, and he doesn't pay attention to her.
I was trying to figure out who he was too.
He's just another one of she's just like another person who just like wandered through his life, you know. But like for her, he like had a huge impact, and I don't know. I really like that. I really like those types of things. Her stories really, all their stories are like kind of tragic. All these bosses. Like you got that one that's like a fish. Yeah. Every time I think when you beat them as 2B, I think you just see the cutscene, and then when you beat them as 9S in playthrough B, you see like you get like a backstory cutscene where it tells you about them, which is interesting.
Yeah. But it makes sense also because like. The way he works, he hacks, so he would be able to get data or whatever. But before we get into 2B, I guess the only thing I wanted to say about 9S, what I wanted to say about 2B's side is pretty much the whole characters, I guess. There's like Pascal. He's pretty important.
He's a piece.
And then there's he's
the
at
peace. Like he's the peace loving robot. His whole village is like determined not to fight anymore.
Yeah, separated from the other robots that are being controlled.
I don't know if they're being controlled.
Just in general, just.
I think they're just like. I mean, I think they're all just living their programming. Yeah, and like
it's just their programming.
Like if you go to there's that machine forest, and they've just created their own society of protecting the king.
Yeah,
they'll attack anyone who intrudes on that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a pretty good. What you said in the beginning was actually pretty good. They're just a piece. They don't fight.
And then
violence.
it's interesting to go counter to your programming when like that's literally your purpose, kind of.
Yeah.
You know? It said.
Yeah, and then from there, I mean,
yeah, they're kind of like Adam. Pascal's like Adam in that way, where he just likes to read and like try to be, living a life, And I mean, it's interesting how much of humanity they emulate in that village. They have a slide. Did you ever keep working on that slide? There's like that little side quest where you help them build a slide.
Okay, so no. And
okay, yeah, it's cool.
What happened was something happens. I picked up the quest and I got all the parts or whatever, and then I was progressing through the main story, and then something happened to the town and I wasn't able to turn that shit in. And what happened was at some point they get attacked somehow, for some way. I can't remember.
They
get invaded. Oh God, I just remember too.
Isn't it Adam? Doesn't he like make all the robots go crazy?
Yeah.
And then they start eating each other.
Yeah, I think that was like the trippiest thing. That for sure was like, what the fuck is going on?
That's from A, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I wasn't able to turn it in. There was like another quest too that was like, damn it, what the fuck? I can't turn this in now. And I just had those quests just gone from my thing. I was like, damn, this sucks. And then from there, like, you just meet up with Pascal, and then you play Pascal for a moment and defeat like the rest of the because Pascal has like children.
No, this is a different
children.
That's a totally different part of the game.
Is it?
Yeah, you think of the part with A2, right?
Me, it is. It is. Then that means that's still A2, dude. I think.
You're right. I think the slide is A2.
Fuck. Well, I waited that long to get that quest going either way.
Yeah.
And other than that, okay, so that's 2B. You pretty much go through and you fight. The main thing is getting rid of Adam and Eve, is because I think it seems like they're controlling like everything or making things worse, really. And
I think the message, I guess, of 2B's like story is it's just what everyone's always been doing is just war, and the whole thing is Adam and Yorha are perpetuating war, because even though there's nothing to fight for, you find out that the war should have ended, but the whole reason that they're going on with it is because by continuing to fight, that's a human thing, to fight and to have conflict, and you grow from conflict, and so they want to keep emulating humans, both Yorha's androids and the machines from the aliens, and
robots. So
they're just like perpetuating this war that should have ended thousands of years ago when humanity actually died, and they just that's it. That's like that's the conflict. That's the reason why anyone's fighting.
Yeah.
It's all meaningless,
Exactly.
There's a big theme of philosophy text, throughout this game. It borrows ideas from Nietzsche. It borrows ideas from well, I mean, like it literally name drops Pascal and, you know, like tons of philosophers and like thinkers and like a lot, like one of the central themes of the game, or at least for a lot of the game, is nihilism, you know, and just like the world is ending, you know, matter is degrading, they're rusting over, these robots are, you know, you're running out of resources, but like, you know, there's nothing to do but like, you know, either shut down, like some of them do, some of them just shut down, some of them keep fighting, you know, because that's all they know to do. And I mean, it's just like kind of this bleak view of life for a part of it. I mean, we'll get into if that changes later, but like I do think that's an interesting, very not video game, you know, subject matter to
definitely,
you know, discuss or dive into, but I do think it's really
or
interesting.
at least very rarely. I don't think there's a lot of, I think there are some games out there, but I can't think of them right now. But Nier definitely hits it.
Yeah, I mean, like that whole series has always been like dealing with stuff that's been, you know, outside of the regular purview of video games. Like Nier, the first one, that was Yoko commentaries, like Yoko Taro's commentary on the Iraq War, about the enemy and, you know, about you and your enemy, and neither side thinking either side that they're wrong, you know. And so that game like shows that, like the first playthrough, you like I'm gonna spoil a bit of that game, but it's an RPG, you know. You're this guy, you're trying to save your daughter, you fight monsters, RPG, right? You beat the game, it's great. Then you play through it again, and this time all these monsters that you couldn't understand before, now they have subtitles. And now you realize that these monsters aren't monsters, but they're mothers trying to protect their children from this monster. You know, and it's like, it's really cool. It's just like, or you know, like, you know, brothers trying to avenge their, you know, siblings, you know, who you've murdered, you know. And it's just like really hard play, because you don't feel good. You feel like a horrible monster. No. And then so like, you know, that's like an interesting angle. And Nier Automata, you know, and I like that instead they could have rehashed those themes. And I mean, I think they play into it a bit. Like, I think they, you know, by showing you after a certain point in the game, you've been killing robots for, you know, like 12 hours or so without thinking about it. And then you get to that carnival, you get to that fairground, and they're all just chilling. They're not attacking you. They don't want to attack you. They're not. They don't want you to cause a scene. You know, they're just celebrating. And, you know, they have their faces painted up like clowns. They're, you know, they've modified their guns to shoot like confetti instead of ammo. And it's just like this fascinating, unnerving area where, and the only way to progress through it is to actually attack that tank. You know, that tank like the tank that's guarding the amusement park. You have to attack it. Yeah,
and it doesn't even attack you either, like, until you actually attack it.
And I mean, I don't know. I find that really interesting. I like that. I like that whole element of the game.
The whole thing with not knowing the enemy's name until the second time you play, that definitely went into this game too, as well. Because if you went to Intel as 2B, you just see like words that aren't English, basically. And then it's only until you hack them as 9S, you get the names of what they are or what their name is.
That is cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because I mean, like the big thing about even their story, I mean, it gets really, you know, complex. Obviously, we can't go through everything, but like 2B and 9S, the models are, you know, she's a battle robot and he's a scanner robot, and that's like the pair. They work together, you know, and and this is like kind of this is like it's their first mission together, but then you realize it's not, you know, because what happens is these scanner robots due to their nature, get quizzical and wanna learn, and they see holes in logic, and they keep following threads until they learn and discover the truth.
Because they could pretty much open up,
and then they have to. That's like part of their programming. They want to learn, and so so 9S, countless times have discovered the truth that humanity is gone and that this war is meaningless.
Yeah.
And 2B every single time has to kill him, and after doing it for countless times, however many times she's killed 9S, she's grown attached to him, and it's sad every single time she does it. And I think that's like kind of contrasted really brilliantly when at the end of the game, when you're playing as 9S and you're going up that tower, and all those 2B bodies are like activated, and you just like 9S is just like stabbing them and destroying them, and like kind of losing his mind, and he's like kind of feeling. There's this line where it says Adam has a line to 9S, and it's like in text, and it's about 2B. And it says, you wanna, and there's like 4 asterisks, like it's like a bleeped out word, and it says her. And like at first, it sounds like the word is fuck, and it's like talking about 9S's lust or whatever. But like when you think about it, the word could just as easily be kill, and it's just like really interesting, like when it comes like, like this like deep seated like revenge along with like, love and compassion. It's conflicting. He wants to kill A2, because A2 in his mind killed 2B, but he's not even willing to like understand that she could have possibly done it for a good reason, for a reason of, empathy rather than, in like a malicious, it's not murder. It might have been mercy, but he doesn't even want to, consider that idea, possibly because,
he's gonna be alone.
Yeah, and maybe like I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's cool. It's complex. They don't really spell things out all the time, and you can just like think about it for a really long time. On top of that, it plays fucking great. I love 9S's hacking.
I mean, this is now B, like slide B of this game, the second part, and you end up going through the whole entire game playing
the same story, from
9S.
The point of view of 9S.
Yeah, and then it changes towards the end.
Yeah, I think. Well, like, so does it have the same ending? I remember in 2B's ending, 9S.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, this isn't B. Sorry, you still play as 2B
you play as
on
9S.
B. What about the whole like you going? Oh, okay. Well, in the beginning.
No, that's C.
Sorry.
You're thinking of C. Yeah.
No, that's C.
So in B, you play as 9S through the same events
right.
that 2B played.
It's all
Except
the same.
it's like,
it is all the same.
It's cool because it's like you'll have a boss fight in as 2B, and you'll be like in you'll be fighting the boss on the ground. But 9S is actually, he says, "Oh, I'm hacking him. I'm helping you." And then this time you're playing as 9S, and so you have to go hack that boss, or like...
And it is... I think 9S's hacking is a lot more powerful than 2B, I think. If you can not die in the programming
he's also like
basically
limited in combat, which is a purposeful choice. They made it he only carries one weapon.
Yeah.
He has smaller combos.
Yeah.
He he does basically like he's less of a combat android than 2B is. But it's cool because for majority of this game you play with your partner running around you. They're putting out their DPS along with you. So things go down really fast.
Yeah.
And that's really apparent when you get to the third route and you lose that partner and you are putting out way less damage.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
This is when you're
when you're playing as 9S or when you're playing as A2.
Oh no, I feel like 9S. Well, I guess but like 9S still does a lot of damage for me. If anything, he does it a bit faster, I guess, because I usually get the gravity bomb thing, and just get the combustion or whatever, and just get them together and explode. Because when you're done hacking someone in a battle as 9S, it explodes, and the combustion thing lights them on fire.
That's how you had your guy kitted out.
You can upgrade these chips and everything. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And there was another one where later in the game you could get the enemies stunned as well, and that made it even more OP because they would stay together, and so long as I kept hacking them, it would just be a chain of, it would be a stun.
You should have gone for the those like bonus fights or whatever, because those get really like, there's these DLC fights, right? They're like level 99 like one shot kill fights, and they're super hard.
Yeah,
as anyone pretty much, except for A2. I found that's the only way I found out how to beat them, because A2, you think like 9S is overpowered, but I think like A2 with the right chipset, she's, you know, insanely powerful, you know, compared to 2B or 9S.
Yeah,
because she's got berserk mode, which ups her damage, she's got, you know, her taunt, which ups her damage. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I think it's really interesting how like there is a flexibility of in the combat department. I think 9S is like, for me, like gameplay wise, like I find his like playing as him less compelling, you know, because you don't have the fancy combos, you don't have the, you know, the dual weapons, but you know, story wise, he is like the protagonist. He has the most amount of screen time, and so like his, you know, I mean, it's interesting. He's the protagonist that you want to fail.
I think I liked his a lot more, really, but I liked his combat a lot more.
It's simpler.
I do like doing like combos. It's definitely
and stuff, a simpler combat style. I like the hacking mini game.
Yeah, but that was what I was gonna head over to. I think I just like the hacking mini game, where it's just the idea of it, and then also the fact that 9S is a hacker, I guess, and it kind of fits into like somewhat of my profession, I guess. So it kind of hit home a little bit. But yeah, well, I mean, I don't, but it's definitely something I want to do. But yeah, 9S. You play as 9S. He ends up finding out more information about Yorha and robots.
Well, no, that's in Route
the machines.
C. Basically, Route B is the same as Route A, but I forget how the endings differ. I know in Route A, 9S takes over a big robot, and 2B is standing on the palm of his hand. Yeah. How does Route B end? Do you remember?
I think it's the same.
It's the same, just like a different speech or a different point of view or something.
Yeah.
And then Route C opens up. And so you're like, am I going to play through A2's story? And instead, how it happens is you play as 2B again, except it takes place after the ending of Route A and B. And
yes. Oh, so the only thing that's different, right? I think that I guess is the only difference is that you do get a preview of the next two endings, which is C and then
D. So you know, things are going fine, except it turns out that after killing Adam, like there's a logic virus that gets spread into all of the machines pretty much, and all the androids start suffering from it, and 2B herself gets infected, and before she dies, and then Yorha gets blown up. Like no more bodies anymore. Like there's no more resets.
So 2B, I mean, like 2B kind of like is saved a little bit, just to go back a bit, by 9S because he hacked her. But then they end up going into the bunker where Yorha's at, and it apparently got corrupted as well. And then it exploded.
As 2B is dying, she before she can die and spread the virus more, she asks A2 to kill her, and A2 does. A2 also takes her memories, 2B's memories, when she does this. Also, A2 is the same model, is the prototype model for 2B. Did you know that? You noticed that, right? Okay.
Yes.
or they say that.
I think they mentioned
And so,
it. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess she's like their big sister or whatever. The first line of that. And then, and she has obviously her own problems with Yorha. Yorha wants you to kill her when you encounter her through the first part of the game. Mm-hmm. And then, so she does take on 2B's memories, and 9S witnesses the killing and thinks that A2 murdered 2B, and and then he is now after A2, and while not A2 is after what's her goal in this? She wants to get.
I think she just wants to kill the machines too. To be honest.
Yeah, that's like her thing in the beginning, but then she like warms up to Pascal and stuff.
Oh yeah, and then she tries to protect Pascal and everyone.
Yeah,
and they mentioned something about the.
Here's the thing about this game. I just realized we can't do this. What we're doing, because this game is too good, and there's so many parts that we're just missing. Like, I totally forgot about the cult.
Yeah,
we will become as gods as well. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much of about this game that's like, let's just go through like favorite moments, I guess. Like, instead of going through and because we'll keep missing bits, and going, wait, what about that?
That is true. Yeah.
So you want to talk about the cult?
Not the cult. I think I wanted to talk about the children.
Yeah.
So
the robot children.
What happens is you end up playing as A2, and eventually, she warms up to Pascal and the group, and then they end up getting attacked because like the robots start like eating each other and start eating androids too, which is weird because they didn't have mouths and now they do, and they have blood or gear or oil coming out of them.
It's like they're ripped open, right?
Yeah,
their face plates.
And that was really creepy. And they're starting to attack Pascal's place, and Pascal took the children, was able to extract the children from the village and put them into like the factory that you start off at. And then from there, A2 goes over there, tries to protect them
because there's an enemy attacking from the outside.
Yeah, there's an enemy there, and then Pascal goes to in like one of them. I forgot what they're called.
One of them is Engels.
That big robot.
Yeah, it's like a oil derrick.
Yeah,
oil
she
platform.
Gets in one of those and kills all the machines that are coming to the children.
Pascal does that. Yeah,
I meant to say he. Sorry. And that's what happens. He does that, and then they go back to the children, and they're fine. They're not fine. That's not fine.
They all committed suicide.
Gruesome scene. It's a gruesome scene.
Did they all?
Yes.
They killed themselves, right?
They killed themselves, and I thought that was so fucking holy shit.
Yeah, they were scared.
I was like, wow. How did they even get the blades? But I mean, whatever. I guess.
Did they use blades? Is that how they did it?
Yeah, there were blades there, which I guess maybe Pascal or someone picked up, and and it was pretty crazy because like and also sad because the only reason why the children are kind of like killed themselves is because Pascal taught them like the emotions of like fear and everything.
Yeah.
And they pretty much went off of that, and they ended up not wanting to do that, obviously, and take their lives.
And that kind of breaks Pascal's mind.
Yeah, and then pretty much what happens then is A2 or Pascal requests that A2 gets rid of the memories or kill Pascal.
Yeah,
is that another thing you could do?
Yeah.
Okay. I just got rid of the memories.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's good or not.
If you go run into him again, I remember he doesn't know anything.
Oh shit.
He's like, hey, how are you?
I think that's worse, I guess, for A2 if anything. Or even the player, because it's a constant reminder of what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. It's up to you, I guess. There's no it doesn't affect the ending of the game or anything, but it does leave an impression. A big part of the game I do want to talk about is So ending C and D are really weird. It gets pretty like intense and epic, and you're going up this tower as both 9S and A2, and it starts swapping back and forth. Like it starts like you'll be fighting there's these two robots, and you're fighting one of them as A2, and you're fighting one of them as 9S, and then they converge into one robot, and then you fight as either 9S or A2 against this robot, or both, I think, actually. And then when you defeat it, you know, they have their final showdown. And 9S, this whole time, A2 is appealing to 9S, you know, trying to get him to calm down and, like, you know, not do what he wants to do, which is kill her. And he just wants to kill her. And so depending on the ending, if you choose 9S, he does kill her, but he also ends up getting stabbed while doing it, and he, you know, dies. As he's dying, he sees the spaceship that Adam's there, and he like loaded up a spaceship, and they're just gonna go on a journey somewhere out into the reaches of space, and 9S can come along. It's this weird ending. It's very weird and bizarre. But if you choose A2's side, she, instead of killing 9S, she I think she cuts his hand off, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And then she like reaches into his mind and she hacks him. And and inside his mind, God, we didn't even mention the red woman. Remember the red woman? No. There's so much going on in this game. But so she reaches into him. And then she, like, you know, basically tells him, you know, like he's also infected, right?
Yes. And that's what happens at the end. And why he's, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I think that's what happened in like the S models.
Yeah. And so she basically clears his infection with her programming, and which gets her infected and dead. Basically,
I thought that was pretty cool because what happens is you're supposed to stop, and I guess I constantly kept hitting, and then I guess the what are they called again? The little droid things, pods. The pod tells you to probably not do that, and then I stop, and all I did was
the red when the red girl is like multiplying.
Yeah, when she multiplies.
Yeah, that's an interesting fight because you don't realize what you're supposed to do. But and then so she helps 9S, and then, you know, she dies, and basically, you know, White resets him, and, you know, gives him a new chance. But if you do both of those endings, what unlocks is like a third outcome, which is where the pods decide that they're not content with either of these endings. And this is a first for a Yoko Taro game that I've played, which is where there's a possibility and a chance for a happy ending. Like, so the pods are not cool with how this story played out. They're like, no, these people shouldn't have suffered this much. They deserve better than this. And so they have emotions as well. They end up becoming so they decide to fix it, and in order to fix it, you have to play through this really extremely hard shooters. Like, it starts off pretty simple. It's kind of like Platinum Games tradition of, you know, playable credits, right? Bayonetta had that. Vanquish had the shooter. This is also like it's like 9S's hacking minigame basically. But as it goes on, it gets tougher and tougher.
It's real hard.
And then the song's like building and building the whole time. And then eventually you can request help. And when you request help, you're requesting it from real people.
Yeah. Well, I'm not real. Well, before that even happens, when you die, you get these messages.
Oh, right.
It seemed really weird at first because it says like these. It just feels like a robot's talking to you or something.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is at the end it says like Bob or USA or something, or like Gamer Girl, candidate or
Yeah,
something. I don't know.
yeah. It's just, and these are like messages that you can choose from. Like you find out later, once you beat it yourself, you can send out a message to help people, and you can send out your own save data to help, because without the help of like everyone who played the game, it'll be impossible because your one gun alone can't shoot through these enemies. Whereas like once you have like 6 ships surrounding your ship and you're all firing at once, and then you're taking these things down and you break through finally to the end, and then afterwards the pod says, hey, like you made it, like you made it to the end.
Well, I want to say, like, on that moment, like, I thought that was the coolest fucking moment. And like, it's one of the top moments that I've had in like the recent games we played this week or this year. And it got me into pretty much kind of tears. Definitely tears were forming.
It's a very like inspiring moment for sure.
Yeah, it's because like it's like it's definitely one moment where you realize, or at least I realized, that you need people.
Yeah.
And like these characters kind of needed them, like, people as well.
Yeah.
Like to survive or whatever, or just to cope, or to like or like, I don't know. It's a weird little thing. And the fact that like us as players, we kind of like decided to do this and finish it all the way through was pretty cool, because everyone was on the same boat.
Yeah,
we all became one. If anything, just like the machines.
Well, they became as gods.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
And then so like as you're beating these credits, which is weird to say, but as you're shooting the credits apart, at the end, the pod, like, tells you basically like you made it because everyone helped. Would you want to help people like you were helped? And then you say and then it says, well,
you have to say a lot of yeses for this.
And he says like,
and they tell you like different scenarios, right? Like this person might be someone that you hate.
It's about empathy basically. It's just like letting you know, like, hey, are you sure you might not get along with this person? This person, like, and it's random. You don't know who you're helping, but you still want to put yourself out there. It's like, well, there's a, if you're going to do this, it's a sacrifice. It's going to delete your entire game data. Are you still willing to do it? And then,
so like there was a few moments I was like, they're not going to do it. But then when I took the question seriously, I was more like, they're probably going to do it. And then I ended up thinking like, would I actually say yes to all these things? And did you end up doing that too, or did you just keep going?
Oh, I did it eventually. I was like, okay, I'm not done with this game yet. I have to continue throughout everything. But I did eventually do it, but I didn't do it the first time.
The biggest question that did stop me was the person will the person that you might help might be someone you highly dislike or whatever. And at that moment, I was like, okay, let's see.
It's true. I mean, how many times have we played Overwatch and just run into people we disliked? Could have been any of them that you helped.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, if they made it this far in the game, I think they would deserve my help. Because then I would want help to go through it.
Right.
And, that was definitely one of the questions that only stumped me.
And then so when you do it, you I don't know if I'm remembering this. No, it has to be like this, because this happens in Nier as well, the first one. Similar thing, but you will watch all your data be erased, right? Like you see it goes into your inventory.
Well, it takes away. It's mainly the menu.
Yeah,
it's all of the menu.
It takes away all of your weapons that you've earned and upgraded. It takes away all your ships. It takes away all the glossary pages for the index that you've, it's like deletes everything one at a time, just to show you.
Yeah.
And then, the only thing you're left with at the end of that is a new background.
Wallpaper.
However, you do see an ending. You do see a cutscene, which plays out, which is the pods gather up to be 9S and A2, and they're gonna put them back together, give them another shot at this, and that's, I don't know, it's really cool. It's the first happy ending I've seen from Yoko Taro. His endings are always like pretty bleak.
Very.
Like in Nier, you have to sacrifice someone, or you have to sacrifice yourself to save someone. And it's the same thing. You delete your save file, but it's not to save another player. It's to save a character in the game. And and everyone, no one's gonna ever remember you. And you can't. And the thing is, in that game, Nier, the title character, you can, it's kind of like Link, right? You can name him whatever you want. The next time you play that game, you can't use that same name. Because that character, no one will remember. So if you typed in Kiyo as your username, you can't be Kiyo the second time.
But if it's on someone else's like system though, could they still do like Kiyo even though they chose like Margaret or something as their first run and then restarted? Or is it like a server?
No, it's not a server thing. It's a game, single player.
I think if it was a server thing, I think it'd be pretty OP because
that one.
There's gonna be a limited of names you can pick from.
Yeah, that one also doesn't have a that one's not about like people like connecting like this one is. That one doesn't have that message. Yeah, it's more of like a personal story. So it's on your save itself. But yeah, you can't use the same name.
That's still pretty cool though.
And then in this one, it's more of you don't name anything in this one, and like I don't think that's like part of it, but this one's just about helping out. And I don't know, it's a fun game worth going through again, especially the second time. It's like, I don't know, I had just as much fun like building myself back up from that point. That I don't know, it's great.
I was worried about trophies and everything too.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
What stopped about that was there's a thing you could do in this game where you could just buy your trophies.
Only after ending E though. Yeah, but like not if you restart the game. Like you'd have to deny no, you can just say no, I don't want to give up my save data, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. And then like you still get the ending. Like they don't block you off of the ending. Because they're not asking you to. That's the cool thing about that choice, which I like, and I like it in a way that's different from Nier the original. In Nier the original, it's like a sacrifice you must make in order to get this ending. In Nier Automata, it's not. You already got the ending. It's just like they're asking, hey, do you also want to do this? You can opt in for this, and it's like, I don't want to do that, or I do want to do that, But afterwards, they have this great. This character shows up. You remember that? Do you remember in the Resistance camp? Do you remember how there's a lady who teaches you about the game's mechanics? You can ask her. She's wearing that robot head. So you go up to her after the game's over, and she's like, "Hey, like, I got this other stuff that I could sell you," and it's just the trophies of the game. So you can just buy, instead of like, find all these fish or kill however many robots with hacking. You can just like buy that trophy from her, which is pretty funny. It's just like shows you how meaningless trophies are. And like I love that. I wish I did buy one just to do it, but I didn't. But I know it works. I've seen it.
Oh my gosh! Don't you? Isn't there a trophy to buy one?
So.
Buy.
Okay. No, I don't. Maybe I don't think so though. But I feel like I would have remembered that one. But no, I don't think this game's a super hard game to finish with all that stuff, Like even like the stuff like the fishing mini game, it's funny, right? Like the fishing mini game. You ever do that?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like certain weapons you only get by fishing. Like there's a rusted pipe, which is like really good. So it's got like,
Oh my
so
God.
it's like really weak damage output, but it has super high crit rate, which like if you pair that with certain stuff, it becomes a really good thing. And then it's just really good for like knocking enemies down, so you can do that circle move, and kick them around and like hit other enemies and stuff. There's like stuff like that. You can fish for. I think they had a thing where they had to get rid of it because people got upset. But one of the things you could find was like, it said like, I found a piece of trash or something, but it was like what was it? It was like a Nintendo 64 controller or something. And people were like, how dare you like say that's a piece of trash? And so they're like,
oh
right,
my God.
fine. And so they took it out of the game. They patched it out. But yeah, there was like stuff like that.
That's cool. Nice little
a
shout
little
out.
diss, I guess.
There's
a
diss.
fun like cosmetic stuff that you can get throughout the game. Like you can get the robot head.
Yeah.
Or you can get.
You can't equip like body pieces on night.
You can.
A2, huh?
They have their own specific stuff.
Because I tried equipping a dress onto.
No. So the
A2?
dress module, that's not a dress. So what that is the dress module is you know how when you get blown up and take a lot of damage, your clothes get ripped. It's like you can basically switch it on so your clothes never get ripped, or they're always ripped. If you want, but
okay.
That's not. That's not what that is. There's specific stuff that only A2 gets. Like she gets her long hair. That long hair that she has in the beginning. Yeah. Like that's only for A2. 9S has its own specific stuff too, and then there's stuff that they can all wear, like certain glasses and like your masks and stuff like that. I think bows. I think 9S can wear all the bows, and so can 2B. Yeah, and then there's like you can get Adam's glasses. Adam. You can get those and put them on all of them. You can. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun little. If you buy the game on Steam, you can get Valve. Valve. You know what their logo looks like with the dude.
Yeah, with the
basically,
Matrix
and like you can get those. Like you can look like that. You can have a valve sticking out of your eye. Out of the back of your neck or whatever. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Nice. I love that. This was a lovely game. I enjoyed playing it. It was a really good game. Apparently the Red Girls on Wiki, at least, it doesn't give a name for the voice actor for that, for Japanese or English. Which is interesting. Yes.
Did you play the game? You played the game in English, right?
Yeah, I did. I might go when I run through it again. I'm probably gonna play it in Japanese.
So I think they're both great. I actually like the Japanese a lot too, but I do like the English actors. The actress who plays A2 plays Makoto in Persona 5.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, which is funny because she's such a different character from Makoto. Makoto is the like prim and proper student council president, whereas like A2 is like the crass, like vulgar and constantly angry.
Yeah.
Like she's pretty much always angry, right?
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, I think it's and I think 2B, that actress also, I don't think she plays that type of character normally. I think she's normally playing the like cutesy type of character, which is interesting because 2B is very like serious business person.
Yeah, that's good. Expanding or showing what they got.
Yeah, right? And I really like their voice acting, all of them. 9S, 2B. I love that. Like we forgot. We just don't even talk about like little things in the game that I love. It's like
there's a lot of little things. There's a few moments the
calibration, right? The like you're calibrating in the beginning of the game, your settings, your HUD, your volume.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, we're recording all of this, and then when you play as 9S, you see the recording playback.
Yeah, and it goes through the like even the small things where
like if you're just like cycling back and forth between two options, like
yeah,
you're like, let me adjust the volume back down. No, a little up. No,
Yeah.
a little down. No, a little up.
Yeah.
And it's like
I
you
thought
see
was-
that happen.
That was crazy because you got almost like an out of body experience in a way.
Yeah, it's like it's like watching yourself, like watching recording of
Play.
your own like indecisiveness or whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty fun.
But damn, holy shit, good ass game. It definitely is gonna be up in the for my list of top games this year.
I mean, it has to work to get into mine.
What do you mean it has to work?
I'm just saying, man. There's a lot of good games. Ghost Recon came out this year.
Oh fucking A! Oh
I'm
my
telling
God.
you, Agents of Mayhem.
Alright.
Come on.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It does have to work. It has to work.
There
for
was
it.
Uncharted: The
Get on
Lost
there with
Legacy this very year.
It it has a few days left to throw some DLC.
Was
to
For
get
Honor
some
this year?
For Honor? Yeah.
No? Was that last year?
That's got to be last year.
I know Ghost Recon was this year, and you were wrong.
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
I think you're probably right. Then it's probably.
I don't know if
this
For
year.
Honor was this year. I don't think it would have
Fuck.
been.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We've been the Binch Bros podcast. Goodbye. Goodbye. I was trying to think of something
From Nier.